9:04 on your Tuesday morning. Welcome back to the KIX 96.5 morning show. We love featuring indie artists on the show, and this morning we're heading to Nashville to chat with award-winning singer-songwriter Sarah Harralson. Sarah's been writing songs since she was 10. Her debut EP came out in 2014, and she hasn't stopped. She's written music with Johnny Garcia, Garth Brooks guitarist. She's written over 100 songs with Christine Bauer, who was on the show. And she just released her brand new album called Outside the Lines this past Friday. And she's getting ready to head to Europe. We're excited to have Sarah Harralson on the phone. Sarah, first, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
Wow. Well, congrats on the album. It's awesome. We'll chat about that here in a second. But first, last night you had an album release show. How'd it go?
It was great. It was at a place called the Dive Motel in Nashville. Very retro and intimate. And it was just a fun time playing my album from top to bottom.
Yeah. Did you play the whole thing?
I did, yep. In the exact order the album is.
I mean, that's a feat. Is that hard? I mean, or do you make your songs so they're able to do live? I mean, how does it go?
Well, so it's interesting because on this album, I have some songs that are more pop production.
Yeah.
So we had to make it kind of stripped down last night because we had keys and guitar and cajon. So we just kind of emulated the album, but also made it a little bit more stripped down.
Yeah, but the album Outside the Lines is out now. But, I mean, last year, well, first, let's go back. You grew up in Knoxville, Tennessee. You live in Nashville now. You started writing songs at 10 years old. Your grandpa was a big influence. He passes away in 2010. You decide to go to Belmont University, which is in Nashville. Was it him? Were you already doing music? What was it?
It was kind of a little bit of everything. My granddad was a huge influence of mine, and my mom always encouraged me to pursue music. And I was just always heavily involved in music, and I knew I wanted to keep pursuing that after high school. So I visited Belmont before I graduated, and I just fell in love with it and knew that that was the place for me to keep studying music and pursue it.
And then what do we study at Belmont?
So I studied music business with a minor in production.
Okay.
And I loved that I chose that route for myself because I was able to learn more about the business side of the industry, which is a great thing for any artist to know for themselves.
Well, yeah, and you've made it work because your business sense is amazing, and you've produced a lot of your own stuff.
I have, yeah.
So there you go. Last year in 2022, listen to what Sarah did. She wrote 110 songs. She did an album. 3 songs were considered for the Grammys. You did 379 voiceovers. You played 24 shows. That's incredible, Sarah.
Yeah.
What's the drive to make $1 million? What is it?
Yeah, there's just always a lot going on, but that's how I like it. I just like to keep myself busy with music, and it's something that I love, so I don't mind keeping myself busy with it. But the drive is just always to keep doing new things and taking new routes in music and working with people, new collaborations. I just love with music, you never know where it's going to take you or who you're going to work with.
Yeah, the voiceover work. You need to get me into this. What are you doing? 379 voiceovers.
Yeah, so that kind of started during COVID when, a lot of us weren't able to play live shows anymore and live music was shut down in Nashville. So I did a lot of vocal session work, whether that was singing on songs for people or recording voiceovers at my home studio. And so this show on an app called Pocket FM hired me to be the voice on one of their shows in India. So I did that for a couple years, and that's why I did so many voiceovers for them. I was just narrating their show.
Wow, that's awesome though to be able to do that and still make some money while you can't perform when everything's shut down. And you also ran 353 miles. You ran or hiked in 2022. So I take it you're an outdoor person.
I am. I love being in the outdoors. I love traveling. I ran my first half marathon this year, which is crazy, but it's just something I've always wanted to do.
Yeah, you ran the Nashville half marathon.
I did, yeah.
I mean, how did you feel afterwards?
Oh, I couldn't move for the next day at all, yeah.
Yeah, it's rough. Go check her out. Sarah Harralson. It's HARRALSON.com. She's on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Outside the Lines, her latest album just came out on Friday. How many colored dresses have you bought for this album?
So I had kind of like a pastel rainbow dress that I wore last night. I posted a picture of it on my Instagram this morning. So that was my colorful dress. And then I had another one I wore for the photo shoot. And then for my other shows this week, I wasn't necessarily doing a rainbow theme, but I've always been a person who loves expressing myself with color. So definitely have more colors for the rest of my shows this month.
Yeah, did it just happen that way, or how did you have the color theme going through the album. Was it just the song progression, or you're like, this was the theme when I started writing the album?
So the album idea kind of came to me one night. I was thinking, I have some songs in my catalog that are titled with different colors. What if I just made a full album where every song's a different color, and just make it a concept album, because I'm kind of unconventional and I like to think outside the lines. So I was like, maybe I'll just call it Outside the Lines, because it's not your typical album. And I just love to express myself in color. So I just thought it would be a fun idea to do an album that way.
Yeah, well, you knocked it out of the park. We played Blue Ribbon last hour. I told a little bit of the story about it. Your mom would have been 65 this weekend. She passed away from colon cancer. Blue ribbons are for colon cancer. But this song, I like how you did the twist on it about the blue ribbons, and it's also about your mom, but it's not like a tearjerker about your mom, but it kind of is. Tell us about writing this song.
Yeah, so that's definitely the most special song on the album for me, because I did write it for my mom and her journey with colon cancer, and I wrote it in 2021, and then I recorded it last fall, and she got to hear it, and she loved it, and I'm so glad she got to hear it. And then when she passed in December, I thought, maybe I should just release this in March for Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month, and all the proceeds can go to the Colorectal Cancer Alliance. And it was a great way to, kind of share my story about my mom, but I also wanted to lift up other people going through the same thing, just to let them know you're not alone, and someone is here with you. Yeah,
it's a great song. I love how you did it as a tribute, and also you're talking about the blue ribbon. It's just amazing. Yellow Umbrella. I like this song. What?
Yeah.
How do you? Your wording on some of your songs is great. Where did Yellow Umbrella? Were you sitting there having a drink? What?
So I think that was one of the last songs I kind of wrote on the album. I'm like, what should I do for Yellow? And I think I was just kind of like, maybe I should go like in an island, summer country feel-good song for this one. I was thinking, everyone loves just having a little drink umbrella in their drink. It just makes you happy. It kind of takes you to the beach. So that's the direction I went with Yellow Umbrella. And there's actually a commercial out right now for Corona beer, where Snoop Dogg says, everything's better with a drink umbrella. So it works out perfectly.
Well, that, and we'll talk about Blackout Barbie. Just like you said, the Corona thing with the Yellow Umbrella, Blackout Barbie. Barbie is sweeping the nation right now. That's your current single. Did you know Barbie was coming out, or did you just hit this on the head?
I just kind of hit that on the head, and that's what was so ironic about it, because everyone's asking, oh, did you plan on doing it around the Barbie movie? But I had already recorded it last year before the Barbie movie was even announced, and kind of had the timeline of thinking, oh, I'm going to release this as my last single before the album in June. And that just so happened to coincide with the release of the Barbie movie, so it worked out perfectly.
Yeah, it's Great timing. I like if you go check out Sarah's, it was either on your Instagram or Facebook, one of the two. You're like, I'm on the non-Barbie soundtrack.
Yes, exactly.
the unofficial soundtrack for Blackout Barbie. It's great. Go and check her out. SarahHarralson.com. She's on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Go and find her outside the lines. Go and stream it everywhere. It is out now. Red-Handed, the song. The first line is just great. You got this last cigarette in my pocket. I crave it so bad, but I'm too scared to smoke it. I've been burned too many times and running out. Just don't feel right. I'm down to my last lucky strike. I mean, what? How long did that take you to twist that like that? How did that come to you? What?
Yeah, so I wrote that song, I think, back in 2016 with co-writer Davis. Yeah, with co-writer Davis Weir. And then when I was, picking out color songs for this album, I already had a few with the title Red. And Red-Handed was definitely one of my favorites that I've written, but I never recorded it. I'm like, oh man, this one's got to be on the album. And I think Davis was the one who came up with the line, I'm down to my last lucky strike, and that's definitely my favorite line of the song.
Yeah, it's great. How much do you get told that you sound like Jewel?
All the time.
Yeah, boy, when I'm listening to the album, I'm just like, holy cow, she sounds like Jewel. You even sound like Jewel when you're talking.
Thank you.
I mean, it's uncanny. And Christine Bauer, we had Christine on a couple weeks ago, her new single, Crumble. We've been playing it. It's awesome. Tell us, how did you and Christine meet?
Yeah, so we met back in 2015 through NSAI, the Nashville Songwriters Association. And, yeah, she told the story to you when she was on, but we met through a pitch to publisher through that, and then she came down to Nashville and I met her there, and then we just started co-writing virtually and meeting up for shows ever since.
And I mean, how does it work? Because you've written with a lot of people, but with her, you guys have wrote over 100 songs. I mean, does it just click? Do you guys, I mean, why? How's the magic happen so much between you two?
Yeah, I think for us, it just kind of clicks. Everything feels very natural, and just being on the same page with someone can make, a song come out in an hour instead of a few hours. So, yeah, it just feels natural every time we write together.
Yeah, and you mostly do them virtually.
Yeah, most of our writes have been virtual. So we were, doing the virtual writing sessions before it was cool.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, it's amazing what can be done all over the place. Who did Outside the Lines? Did you have a producer do it, or did you do it?
So a few different producers. I produced a few of the songs, such as Big Orange, Tennessee, Blue Ribbon, and Red-Handed, and then on more of the pop tracks, a producer by the name of Martin Delanina in LA did some of those. So I had a few different people on this album, but I felt like it made sense to do that since there's so many different flavors on this album. Even though it's labeled as country, you have country, but a little bit of pop and also some bluegrass thrown in there as well. Yeah.
Who's the band that you have the Big Orange, Tennessee? Who did you work with on that?
Yeah, so that's Downriver Collective. They're a bluegrass band here in Nashville. They're kind of all over from the southeast, but Johnny Therian, the acoustic guitar player from that band, I've worked with him before. Great player, and then I asked him, hey, would your whole band want to play on Big Orange, Tennessee? Because I need a bluegrass feel on this one, and they were happy to work with me.
Yeah. Well, your grandpa was a big bluegrass influence. Are we going to throw a bluegrass album out anytime?
I don't know. I feel like that could definitely be a possibility in the future, because I was definitely influenced by that genre. When he passed, I got his accordion. I don't play it much because it's just so heavy. I did play it some accordion in Big Orange, Tennessee. If you go and listen, I'm doing the accordion, but Yeah, it's so heavy. I always have to sit down when I'm playing that.
Yeah, it's too heavy, too big to cart around everywhere to all the shows. Well, Sarah is packed. She's getting ready. We appreciate her coming on today because you are hitting the airport tonight. You're heading out on a European tour that starts in Bulgaria, of all places. I mean, I don't think this is the first time. You've been to Europe before, right?
This is actually my first time.
Oh, this is your first time? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's even more exciting.
Wow. And then I saw Andrew, your boyfriend. He's going. Is the band going? What?
Yeah, so Andrew, my boyfriend, also drums for me. So he's going as the drummer. And so it's just me and him. And then we're meeting the other artist, Barney Esville, who lives in Bulgaria. And he's providing the piano player and the guitar player. And then our first show is really exciting because it's going to be with the Bulgarian Symphony. So we're really excited for the first show.
Wow. Who booked this? I mean, you're in Bulgaria, Serbia, Romania, Greece. I mean, this is incredible.
Yeah, so how this happened it feels very random. So, as I mentioned earlier, I do a lot of vocal session work, and Barney Esville reached out to me at the beginning of this year and wanted to hire me to sing on a song with him called Hello, My Friend, which was originally a Bulgarian song that he translated to English. So I sung on the song with him, and then he asked if he could release it with me as a feature, and I said yes. And then the song came out, and it started dominating the country charts over in Europe and got a lot of attention. And then so he asked me if I wanted to come out and do a tour with him, and a foundation called the America for Bulgaria Foundation got involved, and they wanted to fly me and Andrew out for these shows and this tour. So they were involved, and Barney Esville was also involved in booking some of these shows in all the different countries. But we're so excited to be playing in Eastern Europe, of all places.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. Does Andrew write it all with you, or you just do pretty much everything solo, or with another writing partner?
Yeah, he doesn't write. He doesn't write or sing. He's a drummer, but and a music therapist. But I do some of my songs. I write by myself. Like, there was a fair amount of songs on this album that I wrote by myself. And then other than that, I just do a lot of co-writing in Nashville. So I write with a lot of different people every month in person in Nashville, and sometimes over Zoom and in different places too.
Yeah, because 110 songs in a year. I mean, that's 2 a week at least you're knocking out.
Yeah, that's always my goal.
Wow. I mean, is there a time? Like Monday mornings, are we writing, or does it just come, or how?
So I usually schedule my writes in advance. So sometimes it's like evenings during the weekdays. But when I'm writing by myself, sometimes it just, whenever something comes to me. But yeah, when I'm co-writing, we usually have it scheduled, and then we just kind of throw out ideas and, see what clicks, and then write towards that.
Yeah. Wow. Go and check her out. Go and listen to the brand new album, Outside the Lines. It's out now. Sarah Harralson. She's on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and go check out her website, sarahharralson.com. And she's going to be in Bulgaria in like 24 hours. What are we looking forward to most on the trip?
I'm just so excited to see new places that I've never been to, and I'm excited to perform with a full symphony, because that'll be my first time doing that too.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. Well, hopefully we talk to you again and see how it goes. But have safe travels. It's going to be awesome. Yeah, amazing. Sarah Harralson, go and check her out. Here is Blackout Barbie. Sarah, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you.
It's KIX 96.5.